Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I won't lie, it is kind of crazy how fast things can change in 24 hours. Initially today, I was not planning on making this video whatsoever. In fact, I was planning on making a very different video talking about the good news for the future of long-term Call of Duty, because a new report came out via Tom Henderson and Charlie Intel posted about this, saying that Sledgehammer's next Call of Duty game is going to release in 2027, and then our next 4-year breakdown would be obviously this upcoming year, this fall in 2024, a new Treyarch Black Ops game, in 2025 that rumored Black Ops 2 sequel, 2026 Infinity Ward's next game, 2027 Sledgehammer's next game. And I really wanted to talk about how it's awesome that we now have this confirmed leaked slate for the next few years that says, hey, we're gonna have ample development time for all these games. We're not gonna have super rushed projects or anything like that. It was a video talking about how high I am on the future of COD, and then all the news yesterday dropped, which is so polar opposite. So this is what started the day, and it really only got, more detailed throughout the day in the worst way possible. So Charlie Intel posts, breaking: Microsoft is laying off 1,900 workers from their Xbox division, including employees at Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and more. This comes just 4 months after Microsoft closed the $70 billion acquisition of Activision. So this sucks, just flat out. This is 1,900 people now that just saw, obviously, Microsoft buy out Activision and Blizzard for $70 billion. This is 1,900 people that just saw Bobby Kotick leave the company and get a $400 million payoff, send off. Hey, see ya, here's $400 million. That's 1,900 people that are now out of a job. And when they break down all these different people that have laid off, now going from, hey, I'm really excited that COD's future finally looks promising, we're gonna have polished finished games, ample development time, 4-year dev cycles, well, it suddenly takes a unfortunate twist. So this by far is what I find to be extremely concerning outright. Mike here, RZN Mike, posted saying, I basically lost my entire team. I'm at a loss for words right now. Mike is the senior QA lead for Modern Warfare 3. The Call of Duty that is going on right now. That's going to continue to be the main Call of Duty until this fall when Treyarch takes over. Charlie Intel, Sledgehammer Games team also impacted by the layoffs today, with employees saying several team members have been laid off. Basically losing your entire team as the senior QA means that Sledgehammer, a game who just dropped a major Season 1 Reloaded update that was so problematic, just let go of a ton of their QA people. These people who at their core are the ones that make the game not be ridiculously broken. They find the bugs and glitches that plague our gameplay and they get them fixed. We see updates like Season 1 Reloaded where the QA team probably picked up on a lot of this, but it had to get pushed out. The team leads from higher up say, hey, the update's going out, and while QA is sitting there finding these things, it goes out, then it's incredibly broken, and then it's again on QA to fix things ASAP. So losing the majority of the entire current Call of Duty's team QA department does not make any sense. Again, these are people who just got bought out by Xbox, saw all the acquisitions go through, saw Bobby Kotick get his kicker, $400 million, and now they are impacted directly. Could have moved out to work on this. It's a trash situation for both sides, us as players and these people working on the game. And a lot of people are going to say, hey, the updates were bad, that this, that, and whatever else. They want to throw shade. At the end of the day, you have to separate the game from the people working on it. These are people with families. These are people that, like I said, might have uprooted their entire lives to go and work on these games. Like I've seen several people already tweet, they've been there for 4 months. They packed up everything. They moved across the country to work on this, and then they got laid off today, completely out of the blue. But it doesn't really get any better, unfortunately, with the other tweets that we're going to break down. So this, again, just reiterating, there are quite a few QA testers who work at Sledgehammer that have posted they were laid off. It seems like a significant number of QA folks at Sledge are gone. Devastating. That's just the way to put it in general, because like I said, it's not good for anybody. And this isn't like performance related stuff. Hey, the game was broken, so we're letting you guys go. No, this is penny pinching at the top. This is the very high up saying, hey, wait a minute, we can just cut these out and save ourselves money. But in reality, you just bought all these studios, you made all these statements that said, hey, we're gonna, work better as one with Activision Blizzard and do all this, that, and whatever else, and it's gonna be more in unison, we're gonna create better games. We have this whole timeline now that we saw at the start with the 2024 COD, 2025 COD, 2026 COD, 2027. Those deadlines are going to stay the same. They just now expect the same product with much less people working on the games. It just does not make sense. Microsoft also took very other strange, people away from the company here. Microsoft has laid off the entire customer support team at Activision per Windows Central and is going to outsource all of their roles, which is likely the situation that's going to happen for several of these other places that are being, cut in half or even losing more than this. They're just going to outsource on contracts. And then when those contracts expire, they'll bring in new contracts. It's not a good system for the quality of games, and it doesn't give any longevity to those working on these titles either. So again, it's a lose-lose across the board for anybody who's not at the very top getting a few extra dollars in their pockets. Another strange one, Microsoft also shut down the entire team responsible for bringing Xbox games to physical and retailers. Seems like Microsoft is going digital only, so they don't really care about having their games on the shelves of, the Best Buy or the Toys R Us or the GameStop or whatever else, whoever's actually in business still. But it's just another strange twist of, hey, we woke up today and we're not going to do retailers anymore. And then you get into sort of like the super nitty gritty details of the different studios, especially ones for COD, and it becomes an even more confusing development here. So High Moon Studios appears to have lost over 10% of the staff as a part of today's layoffs per sources. High Moon was actively developing Fortune's Keep's Return along with other Call of Duty support efforts. So a studio that just helps polish things here and there, make sure things run smoothly. Or in the case of Fortune's Keep, they made the map. They were going to be responsible for, the upkeep likely and whatnot with it throughout the year. It could be dropping here soon in like season 2 or season 3. And now 10% of the people on that staff, which is already a much smaller staff because it's a support studio, are gone. They're out of their jobs suddenly, which again is just so trash. And then the game now suffers as well. Lose-lose. Toys for Bob as well was also hit with layoffs today per sources, but it's not clear the extent for that studio. We'll talk about this in a second. Toys for Bob is already one of these smaller Activision studios. Here's the thing that I find so confusing about all of this, though, is that they're slashing these studios and laying off huge percentages of what these small studios already are. But when Xbox acquired Activision, they said, hey, we want to take these other studios and not just make them support studios. We want to revive other older classic Activision IPs. Like, for instance, let's use an example, Guitar Hero. We want to revive this. We're going to use one of these support studios that was working on COD, take them off of COD and let them do their own thing. But now are they still going to want that? And they're just going to force them to do that with a smaller dev team now because you've just slashed a chunk out of their dev team? Just, again, the penny pinching, it's just so trash across the board. And then the final culmination here, just on the impact on COD. Keep in mind, this happened to Xbox Division Studios as well, Bethesda as well, the Overwatch team, all sorts of other teams got hit. Obviously, we're just focusing on the COD stuff here, but Sledgehammer Games lost 30% of its staff. 30% of the people currently working on the game that's out now. That is good, but it's not perfect. It needs more attention. It needs more updates, and it's going to see them throughout the year. We got season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 upcoming, and now 30% of people working on it are just straight up gone. But they expect the same standard of gameplay. It just doesn't make sense. These people should not be getting hit because the tops want more money and the same results of their game. They expect a certain standard and then say, okay, meet this standard with significantly less people. High Moon lost over 10% of its staff. Toys for Bob lost over 30% of its staff. Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Raven, Solid State Studios, Beanox, and Demonware also had many layoffs as well. Every single Call of Duty team saw a reduction in its staff. How this affects COD in the future is TBD. But this is not good for Call of Duty. This means that, like I've been sort of reiterating, there is a certain expectation that's going to be had with these new CODs that are releasing, the new updates that go out for CODs now, and the people that were, like I said, you can be mad that a game doesn't perform well and that it's buggy and glitchy, but the people that are actually there working are doing their best to fix things behind the scenes, and that's the objective truth. You just slash these jobs, not for performance base, just because, and now have jeopardized the future of what you said was going to be significantly, better for gamers across the board. Sure, we're going to see the games release. Is the quality going to be the same? Is the polish at launch going to be the same? Because you've just put so much more stress on everybody who didn't lose their jobs here. It's like I've said several times, lose, not good all around for the people who lost their jobs. And again, I know a lot of these people. I've had the chance to talk to several of them, be in calls with several of them, and they just straight up got the email this morning and said, hey, you're no longer here. For why? No reason. Because they want more money. So games get worse, the rich get richer, and it just sucks across the board. So unfortunately, not fun news today. Hopefully, you know, we can get back to more positive news in the future. I'm hoping the best for all the people that were affected by this. I know a lot of these people are phenomenal workers, and they're going to land at spots that are going to be a lot nicer to them probably than what just happened here, hopefully. But just really sucky all across the board. That's going to wrap things up, though. If you enjoyed the video despite the really trash news, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with all things going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.